Good morning, folks. We are sadly at day 4 of AWS reInvent, the final day. We just finished with the Werner keynote, which is always a highlight for me. I enjoy listening to him do his thing. I enjoy seeing people get on stage. We are a little sad. We have a little ennui, but I am very excited to say that today we have the inimitable, the amazing, the glaring Stuart Miniman.
Wait, am I too shiny? Is that what's happening, Chris? It is great to see you, my friend, and that is, I tell you, I'm a little happy that we're almost done. Day 4 in Vegas is draining in the before times, but I mean, I'm not in show mode in general there. I mean,
we've had a 2 years
since Vegas,
so we haven't been in training like we used to. Absolutely.
You know, my voice, sibilance, yeah.
Sibilance. So it's been fun. As all good things come to an end, I want to ask you the same 2 questions we've been asking everybody on the street this week.
All right.
You have a little bit more insight now because we are at day 4. We've seen the last of the keynotes and we've got some really good insights on what things have gone. So, question number 1, what reInvent item, service offering, keynote thing, what thing has gotten you excited and interested in reInvent this year?
So it's interesting. I'm actually picking up a theme from last year's virtual event that I wanted to see more in person.
Yep.
You go over and you see, the Dance Dance Revolution machine.
Right.
That's the container and serverless zone. You and I know there was like a few years where it was like the serverless people are like, containers suck and Kubernetes is the devil, and the container people are like, oh, that serverless stuff is toys and they're not really real and everything like that.
There's a bit of a schism.
And when I've seen some of the presentations and everything, it's like, hey, underneath some of these things we've got the different layers and the pieces, so it's a little bit of a coming together.
Right.
I've always found that everything in IT is always additive. Mm-hmm. So I read James Hamilton wrote a blog of like, the hardware for Zen hypervisors are no longer going to be available, so we're like going to be able to do Zen on Nitro, and it was like, James Hamilton, is like a technology god. Like
totally.
The first time I came to reInvent, I got to meet him and was like, oh my gosh.
And this is you saying this.
Well, I had the opportunity to meet so many people, and this is the Super Bowl for our industry. So
100%.
The people I've met here at Amazon and the ecosystem, friends, there's so many of them that I've gotten to meet. So that's always the connections and the people and the new people I've met, or some of the takeaways. But for me, the container and serverless, and it's all kind of a spectrum and working together, and no longer some of the religious wars of public versus private cloud, or Windows versus Linux back in the day, or all these things that, hey, eventually customers have complex environments. We need to be able to work through those environments. As Werner talked about on stage, he's like, oh, well, here's 200 services, 95% of them were from you there.
I love the way he said, these are your faults.
My snarky comment was, well, if you think about it, thankfully we don't have thousands of services, because if you were to ask the people here, everyone thinks they're unique and they need all their special stuff. So what are the building blocks we need and how do we have it? And when we went to the cloud, we were supposed to get rid of the silos of excellence that we had, and break through those. And it should be a little bit more standardized and scalable and automated and the like. So
that's crazy.
Cloud, unfortunately, cloud is, hey, it's cheap and it's simple, except when you really get into it, it's really neither of those things.
Exactly.
But cloud is great.
It's hard, just like everything else, but in the end, it's going to be worth it. And as those families of services come together, and we see them start playing more and more nicely with repositories, with all of the new serverless confluences, the Amplify Studio stuff out today, making it easier to use all of those disparate services to get what we all want done at the end of the day, which is more business faster. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So on to question number 2.
All right.
This is a very open-ended question. This can go any way. What do you hope to leave reInvent with?
All right. I'll quote Vin Diesel. Family.
Oh.
So here's an interesting thing. One of the dynamic we've all been watching.
You have to quote him properly. Family.
All right, yeah, you can do the disease. We've got the hair for it maybe, but so some of those. So we've gone through a transition from Amazon. The Andy Jassy has passed the torch as he got the promotion to the big Amazon CEO role.
Yep.
Adam Slipsky coming on stage. One of the things we heard from Adam talk about, community and ecosystem.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
you know, the quick plug, you know, I switched jobs a year ago. I work for Red Hat.
Yep.
We're partner with Amazon. Amazon's very important. We're in the console doing all these stuff. So of course he mentioned us up on stage. I was
totally.
super excited. You know, thank you. You know, that helps us a lot. But community, you know, you and I worked in like the virtualization ecosystem.
Right.
It was like a community. What I've really found here is, you know, cloud is not a community, but I'm starting to feel the coalescence of a number of groups. So, you know,
Yes.
we're sitting here in the Heroes Lounge. If you look, you know, like the vExpert program originally was a vExpert, and then it became many different things there. The Heroes you need, because you've got your serverless people, and you've got your AI people, and you know, it's great to cross-pollinate some of those, but there are those clusters of community, and it's good to see because we want to find people that can help the new people move up and skill up and figure out your future career. So, yeah, you know, kind of joking a little bit family, but you know, the IT community, it is so small. I mean, you and I have been around a few times at some of these things, and you know, people change jobs, technology changes constantly, so we need to be able to, you know, some of those personal connections are so important, and boy, I mean, it's been so nice to, you know, see people.
Every time we get together, we should count how many jobs we've changed between the last time that we...
I just spent a decade at my last company, so like this is the first time people have seen me since I changed a year ago. So it is interesting. The other thing, I'd love to be able to leave Vegas with my voice, but that's always a constant battle.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I've got some Ricola if you want some later. All right.
Excellent.
Cool. Stu, always a pleasure. Folks, Stu Miniman, the inimitable. I love using that word with you because you are an icon, sir. Everybody that
thank you, and Chris, you were one of the few people that when I take pictures with, they're like, wow, I thought Stu was tall. I mean, I got a picture with the Mountain from Game of Thrones at a conference one year, and the answer is they always like, I thought he was taller because he's like 6'5" or things like that. Right. I got a call at an Amazon show.
Wider.
I got a photo with like Magic Johnson, and once again they're like, I thought he was taller because they usually bend down the shoulder. You of course stand tall. They're towering over me like that. But it is always a pleasure to talk with you.
We're easy to find on the Expo hall floor.
That is so true.
That's why we're good at this.
Yeah,
we can find people quickly.
The quick, of course, easy to find on the Twitters too. So hope they'll reach out. I'm just Stu.
You can find him at Stu on Twitter, and I highly encourage you to follow him. He's always a wealth of knowledge.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. Great to see you, my friend.
Pleasure as always.